be
Right,
famous
so
then.
right, recording has started. So it has been quite the season for the Dons. It has been a massive improvement on last season. We look all set to get promoted to League One yet again under a manager called Paul. It seemed to always take a manager called Paul to get us promoted to League One. And I'm curious to hear from you guys. Who do you think's been our best player of the year? So I've done a presentation on this. I'm going to try and share my screen, try and share it successfully this time, and let me know what you guys think. So let's see if this works. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. Is it sharing? Because what I've tried to do in the
Yeah, I can see it.
I can.
Right, you're sharing. It's only because that when I as it's recorded, it's not really showing it. So I'm going to try and. I want this to share. All right, I'm gonna just try and you see, you guys see, you can see it.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna split my screen, if I can. Yeah, and I'm just gonna just talk about who I've nominated. So just as a little disclaimer, I'm only gonna consider players that have been with the club for the whole season and haven't had a long-term injury. So that excludes the January players that came in the January transfer window. That excludes players like Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, who have had quite a serious injury. But it doesn't exclude players who, like I say, have been here for the whole season. I haven't had too much of a serious injury. Kind of Patson is in this list, and who I think have just really pulled their weight this season. So my first player that I'm going to talk about, can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so first player is Craig McGillivray. I've made no secret of how big a fan I am of this man. Obviously, he was signed back in 2023 by Graham Alexander, and he has had to obviously bide his time. You know, he was loaned out in January 2024 under Mike Williamson, loaned obviously to Stevenage, and then he came back to lose his first choice goalkeeper spot, surprisingly. And obviously, he's had to bide his time behind Tom McGill, Connell Truman, Michael Kelly, and Philip Marshall obviously covered for him as well. But yeah, this season, ever since Paul Warner's come in, he seems to have got the best out of Craig. I think Craig has been just revitalised. He's made vital saves in practically every game this season, I would say, and in no disrespectful way to any of our previous goalkeepers, and obviously to those who did cover for him, I think he's our best goalkeeper since Lee Nichols. And on top of his game, I think he's as good as David Marston, in my opinion. You know, only at the time when I made this presentation, only 3 goalkeepers have kept more clean sheets than Craig's 14. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't really put my finger on how many points he's won us single-handedly this season. That's no pun intended. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Craig?
I'll let you go first, Josh.
I mean, this is part of the goalkeepers union here, so I've got big love for him. I think he is the most commanding of his box I've ever seen. I remember going to the Bromley game thinking, oh god, they put a load of crosses in. You got big guys up front. Oh wait, we've probably got the best goalkeeper in the league who deals with crosses. We'll be fine. And then he goes and gives that performance. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I can't love that man enough. He's just class.
Yeah, I agree. I play goalkeeper sometimes myself, so yeah, like a bit of a goalkeeper reunion. But yeah, like he's just unbelievable. He obviously had his issues when he first started, but since then, you know, he's like you say on the slide, he's bided his time. Many people could have said, "I want to leave. I don't want to be at the club anymore," but he's shown that he is good enough to be the number one. And some of the saves he's pulled off this season, you just look at and your jaw drops. Oldham
Every game
away, every game. Oldham away. There's been Swindon. That was just ridiculous. That was a ridiculous save that he made at Swindon. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but when he went off for his head injury at Bromley, it changed.
Yeah.
Defenders were nervous. That obviously we lost that game, and in the weeks after, when he was waiting for his concussion test for him to pass and be able to play again, the defenders just didn't know what to do. They just looked completely confused. I think he commands his box, and his distribution isn't the best, and that invites pressure. But his shot stopping and the way he commands his box, personally, like Josh said, I've never seen anything like it. And every time I see his name on the team sheet, I smile. And I think tomorrow you're gonna have a side that's just gonna lump it up long, and Fleetwood as well. And I think we're gonna really need Craig to do what he's done for the majority of the season, and just go for it really, and just command the box like he has done.
Yeah, Craig, like I say, I think he's been fantastic. I wasn't able to see the Bromley game or any of the Swindon games actually for different reasons, but I think it's just fair to say, I remember Walsall away. I remember over the last couple of games, he seems to know what he wants really. I'm disappointed that we've only kept 2 clean sheets in our last 12, but I think if it wasn't, if we hadn't had Craig in goal this season, if we hadn't had Craig in number 1 this season, where do you guys think we'd be?
Mid-table.
Even under Paul Wharton?
Yeah. I think the only concern I got about next season, I would love to keep Craig McGillivray next season, but with the money we've got, can we afford to not get someone better? But it's going to be completely different in League One to League Two. Like, if you kick a ball out of play, the distribution, teams are going to come straight back onto you. With League Two, it's a bit more reluctant to shoot, reluctant to pass in a final third. I personally would keep him for next season, and I hope we do, to repay the faith and that. But I obviously don't know what the owners have planned, but I'm really hoping we do keep him.
Yeah, I did too. He's out of contract, I think, in the summer, but I think he's worth a new deal, definitely. I've seen him make sure we don't concede so many more goals. If he had continued being number 1 for last season and the season before, who knows? But he's made up for it this season, that's for sure. Joshua, what do you think?
I think it's hard because it's like, if you look at some of the goals we conceded, there have been some ridiculous goals. Solly Kai, Cambridge at home. The Bromley goal he scored. The Grimsby third goal with Vernon cuts in. You're not saving that. There are.
I wasn't there for that, thankfully.
Nor was I.
I had work myself. Probably a good thing.
I think people kind of go, we should be stopping everything. Well, why? That's a 35-yard banger. Like, he's not. No goalkeeper's going to save every single one, and that's also down to a defensive part as well. And I think he's so commanding in his box that that is an underrated skill that I think a lot of people just kind of go, oh, he should do that. Well, yeah, he should, but that's class. And the fact he doesn't, it never lets it down.
He's just a great guy as well. He seems like really down to earth, and he always makes time for people. And I think that's a quality that a lot of professional players don't have. And even if he does go to number 2 in the summer, we need to keep hold of him because his experience will massively help, especially development of like Sanford and that guy from Ajax that come in.
Charlie Sanford,
not Sanford, sorry.
I want us to do everything we can to keep him for next season. He's got experience in League One as well. He was part of the Portsmouth side that very nearly got promoted a few years ago. He's been part of the Shrewsbury Town and the Walsall squads that nearly got promoted in previous years. I think he'll be a good guy to have in the dressing room. I'm going to move on to my next player now, if that's all right. They call him the Admiral. They call him the Colonel. Oh wait, no, I've got one player before that. Actually, no, I'm gonna do Jack Sanders next, seeing as I jumped onto him. They called him the Admiral. They called him the Colonel, as they say. I'm gonna go for Jack Sanders. I'm not gonna do this in number order as I was initially thinking. I'm gonna do some more in position order now. So obviously Jack, he did make League Two Team of the Season. He was our December Player of the Month. And to be honest, I just think he's our best defender. You know, I've praised Craig and so have you guys, but you know, it's certainly on more than one occasion, much more than certainly fair to say that on much more than one occasion, if I can get my words out. You know, we've had to rely on him and his character determination to help us to concede no goals really in a game, or to concede minimal goals. You know, I would absolutely go as far to say that, you know, he'd run a brick wall for us if he really would.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it means metaphorically, but he's been doing that this whole season. You know, we've seen many last gasp clearances. You know, we've seen vital saves from Craig. We've seen last gasp clearances from Jack. You know, I don't think we'd have kept as many as 14 clean sheets this season without Jack Sanders playing as much as he has. And
Yeah.
you know, when he got injured against Barnet, I think a few of us were a bit worried, and I'm so relieved it wasn't too serious in the end. You know, he is one of our best players. I'm really not surprised to make League Two Team of the Season. He absolutely deserves it.
His goal line clearance in the Swindon game at home is unbelievable. Like, you think, I honestly, I was kind of like,
I remember hearing this
parallel to the goal, and I honestly thought that was a goal. It was all, and he just went.
Was that home or away? Sorry.
The home game in Boxing Day.
Yeah.
I
was in
heard about
for
this.
that.
Oh, he was. Yeah. Honestly, I thought that's 1-1, and it's just then suddenly that you don't hear the away fans cheering, and you're like, what on earth's happened? And then you kind of watch on the replay again, and you're like, how on earth has he got that? Yeah,
it was like when they started celebrating, and then it didn't go in, and it was just so funny.
Oh, I feel like I'm missing out now. I'd worked that day. But yeah, I did see the highlights. I think I did see this actually. He is a lot of times this season I've seen a determination to not concede. It's like, you will not score against us today. Jack and Craig have been the two masterminds behind that for me.
Yeah, them two are just unbelievable. In the last few weeks, though, it has been a bit, when Jack Sanders isn't on the ball like Crew, he made a mistake. He has been a bit rocky, but I think it's just more nerves than anything, because we're so close to getting over the line. But over the whole season, he's just, when we signed him from Kilmarnock, people were like, why are we signing someone from Scotland, you know, in the Scottish leagues? And he's just unbelievable.
Butterfly effect, isn't it? Nathan Thompson going down, and then suddenly you get Jack Sanders, and then look where we are now.
Oh yeah, like, no disrespect to Nathan Thompson, he was good, but
yeah, he was sort of very high.
Just
couldn't get the chance.
Yeah, I loved him. That his debut was just like unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like, and the photo with him and Pat and then Kelly on, that just tops it off for me. You know, that
they
was
absolutely deserve that photo.
That was unbelievable, wasn't it? Kelly just looks like a child in that photo. It's funny, but yeah, I think it's just more nerves now, because they know what we have to do. 1 win and we're up, 2 wins and title.
But I think we've kind of hit our form at the right time though, because we had that 4-game winless run. We're unbeaten in 4 now. Bromley, I did always think this. It was going to be make or break. Are we going to dig it out, or are we going to crumble? And we dug it out. I'm honestly glad they scored, because even though we could have been 3-1 up, we had to deal with that pressure. We had to deal with the kitchen sink being absolutely thrown at us.
Yeah.
And we cracked it.
I personally think if that game had gone on 5-10 minutes longer, it would finish 2-2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 3-2 to Bromley.
The way it was, we were just holding on at that point.
Yeah,
stuff was getting thrown at us left, right, and centre, more than the sink, like the chemicals.
You had Pato at one point right in the middle of it, didn't you? Just right in the middle of the defence.
Literally. it just made me laugh at Bromley, like they time waste, cry about it, but then when they're winning, it's like, kind of forgot about it, And then what is that it kicking the ball out of play for? They did it again last night.
It helps us, so we're not complaining.
I know, but it's mental. You'd think they're playing rugby.
But to be fair, I mean, like I say, I think it was what we needed though, because we took something from that into Crewe. We had to do something similar, and if we just do that now against the Tranmere Rovers side, we're probably going to be up for it. Then it's ours to lose. I'm going to go on to my next player now, unless you guys want to say anything more about Jack.
Huh?
Okay, I'm going to go back into doing this more in order. My next player is Liam Kelly. Like Jack, like Hannah Patterson, obviously he's in this as well. He's made League Two Team of the Season. It's fully deserved. Anyone else get a Sinusisi vibes from Liam Kelly? I'm gonna come back to that because things didn't really work out great last season. He took a fair share of criticism and blame. Wasn't really having a great season, but with Paul Warne, he seemed to have found his rhythm. It seems to be, that as a number 6, he seemed to excel. He's won February Player of the Month, completely deserved, and 1 goal, 8 assists in 43 appearances. He's looking at a completely different entity. He's like a new signing. Him and Craig both. He's fitted in so well with the system, and he's become the player I think we all wanted to see from last season. The reason why I brought Sinusisi into this is that it was something similar with him. He started off wearing the number 8, didn't have the greatest of seasons. As a number 6, he excelled, and it's just been a similar story, which is why I wanted to make the comparison.
Yeah.
I just don't see Liam Kelly just stop running really. He just seems to always have to. He seems to always have it in him, just run wherever he needs to.
He is so fast; it's underrated.
Yeah,
he is so quick. You watch him track back, and you think, how have you from there got to there quicker than like a winger? I really disliked last year the cheering when he got subbed. I think it was in the Fleetwood game when we lost like 4-2. And people were like, hey, and I was like, what are we doing?
I wasn't able to make that game.
No, I found it very distasteful. And
it is.
Because it's not like he wasn't trying, the system was working. And then I remember I think it was the Grimsby at home game, the last, Dean Lewington's last game at home. And I was watching him going, this is like a different player already. You could see he was much more like progressive, forward passing, split between the lines. And you kind of go, oh, there's a player there, and there still is a player there. And then, he's just carried that on. And I think he needed that like arm over his shoulder and just to go, you're the guy, you're playing, this is where you're playing, this is what you need to do, clear instructions, do it. His vision's fantastic. His ping, he can ping a ball. And it's just been a joy, and I think I probably have him down as my player of the season. I originally voted for Pato, to be honest, for the awards, but I think thinking of it a bit more, you just can't fault him.
No, he's been unbelievable.
Yeah, I wasn't. Because of my job at the time, I did miss a few. Did last almost 3 months after our Bromley lost last season. I wasn't able to make any more games at Stadium MK. So I wasn't able to see though what you were talking about there, Josh. But I remember the Oldham game, how very highly praised he was, and it was just night and day. Really, it was like suddenly there's barely anything you can fault for.
I think Paul Warne coming in last season. Paul Warne even said it when he went into the changing room after Swindon and players were celebrating. The key thing he did was like, no, that's not acceptable. We're not going to be tolerating that. And I think that showed the players that if you want to celebrate a 0-0, then leave the club, And I think Liam Kelly's one, obviously, since this season, I have no words. He's just been unbelievable. When he comes off, the dynamics change, and I just don't see what the point was in buying Crowley when you got someone. I don't
think it's worked out for Danny Crowley, has it?
No, when you got someone like
because you can see there's a player there as well.
Yeah, there is a serious player in there.
You can see Crowley's vision. You can kind of see what he's trying to do, but I think he kind of gets lost in that midfield where, how many times in League Two you just see a game where it's just head tennis and it's just back and forward, and I think like Crowley's not got the speed that Kelly's got, so he kind of gets. He's still tenacious and he can still ping a pass, but I just think there's something missing with him. And it's shame because like I remember last Boxing Day game when I was against Notts County and he just tore as a new one, and you just think, wow, that's a player. And then, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's just a case of like the second seat, not the hangover from last year, Kelly's emergence, and it's just like right, stop and start. Kelly's played every game, and that then gives you that rhythm. And I think Crowley's been, he had the injury as well. I think it was a thigh injury. So you then compound that, not really getting into the team, not getting a run, and I think it's just kind of he's just stopped and started, and it's a shame. But I think Kelly's one day.
Yeah, I personally, I've never seen a player like it. I've spoke to people from different clubs, and they've said, "How can someone that small be that quick and good?" Yeah. Like, he is unbelievable, and it's a toss-up for me between McGillivray and Kelly, I think.
That's really, really nice to hear.
Yeah, they're both unbelievable, but Kelly, wow. I desperately want him to stay in League One. And
same.
Oh, he'd be one of the best players in League One, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's just been a different beast. I'm going to move on to my next player now, if that's all right. Even though I'm pleased that we're all agreeing here. Next player is Alex Gilby, actually, because I don't think there could have been a better player to step into our captain's role following Dean Lewington's retirements.
No.
If you think about it, he's into his third season in the second spell with Dons, and in all 6 seasons, including obviously this one, I've always seen a professional player. His work rate's fantastic. It's exemplary. It's exemplary. If I can say the word correctly, I do apologise. And is he actually being even better in this second spell with us? Certainly been more clinical, as you can probably see there. He's in his second spell, and in the 3 seasons, he scored 13 goals in 46 appearances. And then in this season and last season, 11 goals in 42. Compare that to his first spell, it's 3 goals in 23 League One appearances. I'd make a distinction here because obviously in the second spell it's all been League Two. His first spell was League One, League Two, League One. 3 goals in 39 League Two appearances, and then 5 in 30 League One appearances. So that is an impressive improvement. And as I was reading the programme, so I do have to apologise. Following his goal against Crewe Alexandra last week, that was his 47th goal for the club, and the programme was highlighting our top 5 goal scorers. And he's actually now, he was joint fifth with Daniel Powell. He's actually now 1 goal shy of Dean Burgess in fourth, who had 48 goals for us, and just 3 shy of Kieran Agard in third with 50 goals. And I think first was Isaac McLeod. I think it was 71 goals he scored for us. So, but I just feel like for somebody who's not even a striker, 71 goals for Isaac McLeod. Aaron Wilbraham had 57, and Alex Gilbert's only got 10 less than that. I just think for somebody who's not even a striker, that's fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think the last few weeks, like he's definitely shining. He's been able to let Kelly do what Kelly needs to do, and Gilby's able to do the dirty work. And I think having leaders like Pato, Gilby, Mendes-Lang, and like Nelson, and then obviously you got like Potter in the coaching team with what's his name, Paul Warne and Dean Lewington.
And
you can't get much better than that. And Richie Barker, you can't get much better than that. And for the next 2 games, I don't think there needs to be a game plan. I just think you know what you need to do. Just go out and outscore the teams.
I just think he brings that kind of intangible like kind of ability of just being such a good leader. And you can see it, like, in some of the goal celebrations, he's beckoning other people to come and join it. So it's all in one. Like you see it on like social media, how he interacts, and stuff like donating to like Don's action stuff before in the past, and I think he just kind of some stuff like that where he just gets it, and that's why
he loves the club.
What every club needs.
He does get it.
There's a guy who just gets the club, and that's him. And that
100% agree.
You just can't, buy that. That's just
they're a dying breed now.
Yeah.
You'll get players that will be like, yeah, I love the club. They'll get offered $1,000 a week more.
Yeah.
And then they'll go. But Gilby, he had plenty of opportunities to go somewhere else, but he doesn't want to. And I just, love him to pieces. Whenever I see him score, that I can't wait. When we get promotion for him to celebrate, because he's like the spine of the team. He is. Now Dean Lewington's not as involved in the first team. He's that man. Yeah. He's the man that Lewington was. And especially when we're going up next season, next season's going to be a different ball game. And I personally think League One will suit him better because it's more on the ball, more on the pitch, more on the ground. So I just think he's incredible.
He's probably also, I think, one of the best pure strikers of the ball.
Yeah.
He hits it so cleanly, and you can just the minute if he's on the edge of the box and someone just like kind of like the Swindon game, like the Crew goal, sorry. You just know he's just going to get slid across him, and he's going to hit it first time, and it's going to go.
I was in a toilet when that went in.
Yeah, one of the best goals I've ever seen was last year when it was the Harrogate goal in the 94th minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was there for that.
I was behind the goal for that, and you could see it starts in the middle of the goal, and the spin he gets, and it goes top corner. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. I was in the toilet at Crew when I heard celebrating, and I was like, oh no, it's 2-1 now. And then everyone starts jumping up and down, and I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, that goal is it's just unbelievable. And you don't get someone celebrating like that if they don't love the club.
No.
And he adores the club, doesn't he? And he's the beating heart.
Definitely. Alex Gilby, he just gets it, as you say.
Can't praise him enough. He's just incredible.
Yeah, I can't praise him enough, as you say. He's the right captain, that's for sure. I'm moving to my final player now. And it has to be Lucky 13, Callum Patterson. He's obviously made League Two Team of the Season, quite rightly so, I must say. And he's the latest MK Dons player to make number 13 look like a lucky number with his performance of this season. I'll finish this, but just a quick point. He reminds me of Cole Baker, who also won number 13 and got player of the season when we last got promoted under Richie Barker as our assistant manager. And, at that time of making this presentation, he's a top scorer with 14 goals in 34 games. And the point that I want to make here is that that's double the amount of goals from last season's top scorer. Last season's top scorer was Scott Hogan with 7 goals in the 30 appearances, I think it was. So,
and I won this season.
That's something that needs to be brought up here. If you look at the period when Nathaniel Mendes-Lang got injured in December 9th, lost against Notts County, up to his own injury when we beat Newport County 1-0 in the 14th of February, just after that penalty, he scored. He scored 9 goals in 12 games in that period, and he spent a lot of that period just carrying that team. He's carried us so many times this season, but when that happened, it was like, right, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang's out. Come on board. I'm gonna steer us up. It was like he just went for it. He was carving teams apart. It was like something we'd never seen before. Yeah. Really. I know we've had in the past. Dush got promoted. Obviously, we had Kieran Agard and Chuckton Ike scoring, I think, both 20 plus goals each. Before I'm about to check the stats out on that, but it was like, right, I'm going to go for this. Just didn't give up, didn't stop. He carried that team, and we just wouldn't be in the top 2 without him.
No.
I know he hasn't looked as confident as I would have liked him to look since he's come back, but I just can't forget that.
I think it's always
Yeah.
hard, isn't it, when you've got a knee and an ankle injury to like. But I think the running we're a different team with him and without him, and I think he was so suited to League Two.
Certainly were, yeah.
There's so many games where you think, God, if he was playing today, Cambridge away, we could have, we could have used him there, and you just think, like, it's not just the goal scoring, it's the running, he starts that press from the top, and I think that he initiates it, everyone falls forward. But also, I think as well, was massively underrated for him how many assists he's got. He's so good at picking a pass. And it's not an easy pass. It might be a ball to chest, and he hoiks it over his shoulder, and off goes Ben Wiles for his first goal against Accrington. Or the Bromley game, like, he just can pick a ball and just set someone off, and then he makes that. He runs it in. His timing. If you look at most of his goals, probably apart from like the Shrewsbury game, the first half hat trick, most of them have been, edge of the box, runs in, ball across, bang, first time goal.
Yeah,
and it's just we've not had that for a while. Not probably since like Max Dean, I feel.
No, exactly. I
finally replaced Max Dean.
Yeah. I want that guy back, but I personally, sounds really controversial, but I feel like we're a better team when Mendes-Lang is not in the team and Patterson is running it. When Mendes-Lang got injured, for example, it just seemed like the team was so much better. And Patterson, has destroyed teams left, right, and centre. And I've never seen a grey hair like that on a 30-year-old. So I think when he does, score tomorrow, he needs to shave some of that off and give it and frame it somewhere. But he's such a great guy, and he's such a good footballer. And I'm so glad. No disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday and their financial struggles, which is a shame, but I'm so glad we managed to get him.
Yeah, I mean, just you talk about Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. I do agree with everything else. I actually think if Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, I'm going to go just to a bit of special mentions here. We will obviously keep talking, but I want to just give a shout out to a few other people. So Nathaniel Mendes-Lang is in this because I do feel like if he hadn't got injured when he did, I think he would be challenging Callum Patterson for a top scorer, because I think it's 8 goals in 19 appearances. It was 7 and 17 before. I think, you're right. He took the words out of my mouth. He was on fire, and Callum Patterson became on fire. Imagine them two together, right? I mean, you might have seen a post recently when I said, "Who do you guys think is better between the two?" Because one on one side, one on the other side became they both been fantastic, to be fair. For the majority of times that they've played, I feel like when Nathaniel came on against Barrow, for example, he brought a much needed energy to the team. And similar with Oldham Athletic, and when we started him, it took 31 seconds and boom, 1-0. So I do have to disagree with you slightly there, Jordan, but I think both at their best, amazing. But then also you can something similar about.
I'm really sorry. I need to jump off, but it was really good speaking to you both.
Thanks for coming on. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope I get to see you soon. Yeah. All the best, Josh. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, I think when Nathaniel Mendes-Lang is on, he's a bit of he does bring some different energy. Like I say, it was nice seeing somebody cross the ball successfully.
He's got flair, hasn't
he? Against Crewe Alexandra last week as well. For Marvin Ekpateta's goal. Obviously Marvin, he's in this special mentions. I think he's had an excellent season. Player of the month for March. He's not done a lot of wrong, really. I know he probably should have been sent off against Crewe, and I don't mind admitting I'm not complaining. But other than that, it should have been a penalty to them. I'd admit it. I didn't hate this referee. And I want to give a mention to Curtis Nelson. I think he's been our best January signing. I love the way he drives the ball forward for the attacking players. I think since Harry Darling left,
I was at Preston train station on the way to Barrow, I think it was, and a Derby fan stopped me and said, "Do you support MK Dons?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he was like, "You've got yourself a right player in Curtis Nelson." And just watching him is just unbelievable. It just looks so easy.
it's funny in a way that Derby fans are saying what they're saying about him and Kane Wilson. But we understand him when there's Lang from Derby as well, because it's just funny because they were all in Derby's first team last season, and Derby trying for the playoffs. It's interesting how we managed to get some really good players from them.
It's about that.
Yeah, I think also you could probably give a mention to Aaron Collins. I know I've not mentioned him here, but I really do think that when Callum Paterson got injured and Aaron Collins came back, for those couple of weeks, for the first couple of weeks when he came back, he scored 3. I think 3 in a row against Cambridge United with the penalty, Harrogate Town and Gillingham, and he looks like he made it look like we didn't need Callum Paterson, but I do also think that since Barnet, it hasn't been the same. I know he made a vital block to prevent Bromley from scoring a second goal, but he didn't even play on Monday, and we still managed to win. I think that does say a lot for the person who won League One Player of the Year 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think League One's more for him. I don't think League Two's really. He's not physically, all like physically, thing for League Two where you got Patterson, he can do the dirty work. But I think.
Hello. You still there? Oh, you froze out there. Go on. What you were saying?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, so that froze out for a moment. So I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat that. That's all right. We're talking about Aaron Collins and being a better player in League One.
I think like for someone like Pato, for example, he's more physically not capable, but more like can do the dirty work, which is what League Two you need. Where League One, like on the floor, on the pitch, mainly passing on the floor instead of going back and forward, from goal to goal, like heading the ball, and that I think it will suit Collins much better in League One personally, and I do think over the summer we will see a different player.
Hopefully. I think just as I'm kind of getting to wrap it up now, I do want to give a mention to Paul Wood and his staff. I think they've done an amazing job. A lot of people are saying we'll be doing even better in League One, or we can challenge for promotion again. It's worth mentioning Paul Ward has never finished lower than 7th in League One, and in his 5 seasons in League One, he's got promoted 4 times. 3 with Rotherham United, 1 with Derby County. His first promotion was actually a playoff win, so maybe that is a sign if we do get playoffs.
And then got relegated and then promoted and relegated and promoted.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the yo-yo club. He was relegated and promoted for 6 seasons in a row. And he's helped bring smiles back to our faces.
Massively. I can't wait to come down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think that's.
Are you going tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be going tomorrow.
I'll meet you tomorrow if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? I've got Joshua with me as well. Don't know he knows you. But yeah, well, we can talk more about that.
Yeah, definitely. What time's best for you?
Maybe half time or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. I'll get in touch. But yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up now. It's been a really good season.
Oh, it has.
It's after what we went through last season, and after what we've been through as a whole, it's been what we've needed really. Over the last 3 seasons, we conceded more than 60 goals. 66, 68 goals in League Two, and 66 last season. It's needed to change, and Paul Warren's done that. To be fair to him.
Yeah, it's not always been quality football, but it's effective. And if we get out of League Two, that's what matters. League Two, we should not be in there as a club.
Especially after nearly getting through to the Championship 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, we'll get back to Championship.
Hopefully.
Next season.
Last time we got promoted to League One under a manager called Paul, whose surname only had 1 syllable in it. as I was mentioning before, the recording started, Leicester were relegated to League One. Luton were newly relegated to side in League One. What was I going to say? Sunderland were a new side in the Premier League. Charlton were a new side in the Championship. Birmingham City were a newly promoted sides. And actually, in the following season, we got top 3 in League One. So, is that a good omen?
Could be, mate. Could be. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I've got to get going soon, so I need to get some food and then head home to bed because I've got to be up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll just wrap it up.
Yeah,
I have to ask you. I know we didn't get a chance to ask Josh in the end. Who's your player of the season? I can't not do this without asking.
Okay. That's a difficult one. Craig McGillivray.
You're going for Craig.
Yeah.
I'm pleased people are noting Craig's good work. I think for me, they absolutely are the top 5, and it could be more.
Yeah.
In my heart, I want to say Craig because it's been like a Manuel Neuer in League 2 or Gianluigi Buffon or who else? Jordan Pickford or I say Jordan Pickford, Edison. Yeah, David De Gea works.
Gordon Banks.
Out of all of them, I like David De Gea. Just for some reason, I really want to say Craig because it's been fantastic. He reminds me of David Martin. It would have been easy for him to just walk out of the club and he didn't.
Yeah, literally.
But I think in my head, I also can't get over the fact that Callum Patterson's helped to carry us.
Yeah.
And I think just on balance, I'm going to have to go with Callum Patterson. But it is between him and Craig. They are the 2 best players. They've both been fantastic. And all of them have really. And I just really want to thank them all and thank the whole squad.
Yeah.
It's been night and day since last season. I mean, I didn't know about this winning and celebrating thing. They'll probably tell me more about that. As and when you do. But it's been a really good season.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else you want to say? I know you said you need to go, so I'm going to try and wrap it up now. Is there anything else you want to say?
We will win the title.
Okay, well,
2 games, 2 wins, champions.
Hopefully. I think that's it from me. Guys, if you've watched all of this part, thank you so much. It is incredibly appreciated. If you've liked what you've seen and haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to share the video. It helps me out more than you'll ever know. I really do mean that. If there's anything else you feel we've missed out, please let me know in the comments down below. And please let us know who your player of the season would be. I think there's a lot more than the 5 I nominated, and we spoke about that. It could be in for a running. So please do give us your thoughts. Guys, I think that's everything. Thanks again so much for watching. As Jordan quite rightly says, up the Dons, and I'll see you all tomorrow as we hopefully will be celebrating promotion back to League One after 3 long seasons. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Up the Dons.
Jordan, Josh, and myself. Come on, you Dons. Up the Dons, as Jordan says.
Up the Dons.
He's taking the words out of my mouth. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Up the Dons, let's get promoted.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.